So, I want to give the actual serious side of the story of the dogman encounter that I had earlier this year. Because I posted that song about it because I was really just trying to um, I guess, work through it in my own head and just present it in a way that's more lighthearted. Sort of as a way to, I don't know, it's like a therapeutic approach to something I'm trying to get past in my brain. So it really helped to have that kind of approach where it's more lighthearted and like joking around, like. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I think why I posted, and kind of just created a random uh, song about this encounter because even though it really did happen, I try to take a comical standpoint because it's like nobody got hurt, but it was still like this weird thing that happened. So I think my brain's trying to like wrap it. uh, I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. Is a better way to say that. Um, yeah, so I guess this is the serious video where I just talk about what, like all the details of what actually happened, and I'll try to make it as brief as possible. I did contact Vic Cundiff. He's got his Dogman Encounter channel, um, which is awesome. So I figure because it is my channel, it's okay for me to post my own story. I probably won't obviously go out and talk to other people about theirs and then post it on my channel because that's like his territory and I don't want, you know, to take that away, I guess. It just doesn't seem like proper. So I'll just tell my story and leave it at that. Maybe my girlfriend's as well because she was there with me. Yeah, so the setting, I guess I'll describe the setting first, was in Clayton, Michigan, which, if you don't know, that is that correct? I don't know if that's backwards. Maybe it's more like that. Wait, the thumb should be over there. Anyway, wait, what? Yeah, I think that's right. So Clayton, Michigan is down here. I keep forgetting if that would be backwards for the viewer because it looks correct to me. Because I'm from this region, we had to go east and then south to get to this place, which is Clayton. It's about here, and so we get there and we go to this park. It's actually called a dark sky park because it's like one of the darkest points in Michigan. So it's like one of the first dark sky parks they created. So you could go there and get like a super great view of the sky, so you can see all the stars and stuff. So that's the purpose of us going there. We hadn't been there before, and I just looked it up and figured it would be a perfect place for a date. So we went there, and it was all going well. We were like, it was a romantic evening. I gave her this cool gift, and then we're hanging out at this picnic table, and we're the only ones there. And it's not like a huge. There's no campsite or anything like that. It's just we're next to a little lake, and looking at the stars. And well, as we leave, a truck was leaving there, and that was the only other person that we saw. So it's just us there, and probably like 10, 20 minutes into us being there, we hear this sound, and it's a sound that I've never heard, and I'm pretty obsessed with like wildlife and stuff. I just have a good connection with animals, probably more so than most people. So it's I couldn't identify it, and it just totally stumped me with this. It's kind of like a scream, kind of like a call, very high pitched too. Which my first thought was maybe it's a wild like big cat, like mountain lions, although they're pretty rare in Michigan, there have been sightings of those. My mom actually saw one like years ago, like 20 years ago, and at that time, the park rangers told her that she was crazy. Or not, they didn't like say you're crazy and hang up, but they were like, there are no mountain lions in Michigan. And like the next year, there was a newspaper article stating that there are now cougars in Michigan, so it's just frustrating when things like that happen. But that was my first thought, like some sort of wild cat making weird noise, but it wasn't. It wasn't a noise that I've ever heard them make, and I've heard coyotes too, which those can make high pitched kind of noises. You can still tell it's like a canine type thing. This just, I had no idea. At first, I was like, maybe it's someone playing a joke, and it kind of made me mad. So I was taking some steps toward where I thought the sound was coming from, and then I realized that it really did sound animal derived. So the potential danger. I mean, people are dangerous, but wild animals seem to be more unpredictable. I mean, wild animals were definitely more unpredictable. So I kind of back up, but I decide that we should stay because I don't want the evening to be ruined, which is probably stupid, and I don't want whatever's making that noise to think that it scared us off, which that may be kind of stupid as well, but I didn't think that was like, I almost felt like running away would have been worse, or maybe I didn't want it to have won. And it made that call almost like a high-pitched scream, not raspy, very mournful sounding. It made it at least 3 times, and my girlfriend was pretty spooked, and she does not get freaked out easily. So, after a while, I don't let the sound really deter us, but after half an hour, we start to get kind of cold because it's still March, so it's still pretty cold outside. So we finally leave, and as we're leaving, I drive a Honda Pilot. It's a pretty decent sized car, and I have to turn around in the road, and that's when I actually saw something that was really confusing. It was what I thought was just a big, gangly, creepy wolf. And it moved from left to right in front of the vehicle as I was turning the car around. So it started on the left-hand side, moved to the right into the brush, and it had a tail. I thought it was just kind of like a brownish color. My girlfriend said that she swore it was brownish red, which I wasn't paying attention to the color as much, and I'm not one to really notice colors or like think about colors, so I don't know why that is. And but she said that it was that color, and what I had noticed was the way that it moved, which was so smooth, and it seemed like it moved just like a ninja, which sounds really weird, but it was like, if the car hadn't been on and if the windows had been down, I don't think I would have heard it at all because of how smoothly that it moved. Like, it was purposefully being as quiet as possible. And it was just like, so it wasn't like, I don't know, it was just like unbelievably weirdly good at moving like that. And it seemed like it was very like hunched over, instead of, it wasn't quite like bipedal, like someone standing up, but it wasn't quite on all fours either. It was almost like in between, kind of, like it was about to be on all fours. I think when it finally got to the brush on the right hand side, it finally was on all fours, but for that little time period that it was in front of my car, it was like it had spun around, and all the while it was like weirdly hunched over. It's very weird. yeah, other than that, we noticed that the tail, I barely caught a glimpse of the tail, but it seemed like I knew that I could like see the outline of it, so I knew that it had a tail. My girlfriend said that she got a pretty good look at the tail, and that it seemed just too small for the body, which the body just seemed very large to me, not like exceptionally large, but like at the very least as tall as me, and it could have been at the most a foot taller, but not any bigger than that. Like it wasn't one of the biggest specimens that I've ever heard of. Um, so anyway, I'm wondering if it was this cryptid known as a dogman, or if it was a crazed wolf. But saying that, it just sounds so implausible that a wolf would move like that. If it had mange, it'd be more likely to like limp around, and be more um, not smooth with its movements. You'd think if it had mange, you'd think it'd be like more like the trots of it would, as it's trotting, it wouldn't be. It'd be more like slow, I guess, too. It'd be slow and it'd be not as smooth or ninja-like. So, yeah, and the sheer size of it. It wasn't, like I said, it probably wasn't that much bigger than me, but it was larger than what I thought a wolf would be. So that's weird. And I remember being in the car and just saying to my girlfriend like over and over again, that was big, like as silly as that is to kind of repeat. I said it like maybe 10 times because I couldn't get over how large it was. So yeah, when it disappeared in the brush, I've never seen anything disappear that quickly. It was so weird. I guess just to give us a slight comparison, when I was driving back from Colorado, I think I was with my family. I was with my mom and my little sister, and we were driving. I think we were actually driving the Pilot. So, yeah, it was either the Pilot or my mom's car, the RAV4. I don't know which one it was. But we were coming back from Colorado, and we were either in. I'm trying to think what state we were in. I want to say Nebraska, but I think we were further west. We might have been at the eastern side of Colorado. I'm trying to think. It could have been Nebraska. I don't remember. But we're coming back. We're heading east towards Michigan. And I'm driving, and it's nighttime. And I don't know what time it was, maybe like 9 or 10. But it's definitely dark out. And I am in the left lane, so I don't know if I was passing someone or just if I had been there for a second, but you're not really supposed to stay in the left lane, so I'm assuming I was passing someone a second ago. Anyway, so I'm driving, and on the left shoulder, there's this, it's pretty tall, it's probably like 3 feet off the ground. I think 3 feet, maybe. So it's pretty decent size, and it had a round head, long body, and round ears that were like more so, I think, I'm trying to just picture it. It was more so like the ears were on the side of the head. So it was definitely, immediately, it's a big cat, it's a mountain lion, that's what I thought. So I thought bobcats were like really way smaller than that. And no one else saw but me because I think they were dozing off. But yeah, I almost hit this thing, and it's just casually turned, and like it looked at the car like I had no idea what the car was, what it was, and that it wasn't a danger. So there was no one else on the road, so I slight swerve to not hit it because I don't want to bash literally this thing. It had passed its face had passed the line, just looking up at me. So if I hadn't have I just swerved literally like a few inches. So if there was a car next to me, I wouldn't have even hit the car. Luckily, not that there was a car. But of course, if there was, I might have just hit this thing to avoid a car crash. Because I think that's what you're supposed to do. But I slightly swerved to not hit this thing in the face, and just gazing up at me like, I don't know if there was something wrong with this thing, but I don't think that most wild animals, I think that they know to like, oh, that's a giant moving thing when they see a car, and I don't want that to run over me. So I think that they are able to obviously process that kind of thinking, but I don't think they're like look out onto a street and like think to themselves, look at all those cars, and and they're not always going to be afraid. Like you'll see squirrels just running in front of cars because they're like, I just got to go fast enough and I'll be fine. Like they're not that afraid to be identified. You know, they're going to be skittish, but they're not going to be like, they're not going to put all together like, oh, there's humans in that thing probably, unless they've had a lot of experience with that. Anyway, so I'm saying that because when when that dogman or whatever went in front of my car, it was in the headlights, and it obviously did not like being in the headlights, which is why I think it kind of spun around. It was very like afraid, like not afraid. It was more like it was afraid to be seen. And like, oh, like shoot, I can't believe I was just seeing like, and it was just freaking out and got out of there as fast as possible. Like if that had been a coyote or wolf, I would have thought that it would have just like looked up at me like much like that mountain lion did, and just went on its merry, like trotted on its merry way. This thing moved differently. It reacted differently. The size was weird, and the fur was really patchy too, which I don't know if this thing was diseased or if the fur is always like that. Yeah, so that's what happened to me. This is very long, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you for listening. And there's a phone call. Bye-bye.